This is something many language learners struggle with, but here I am specifically talking about English learner, so I am going to mention them. So there are many people who complain that why can't I speak English fluently and naturally like others, or how can I speak English fluently, or when I would be able to speak English effectively. And there are many questions they ask to themselves because they have been studying English for years, but despite having studied English for years, they could not make it happen. They are struggling to hold a simple conversation in English, and now they are fed up with that. I know it's overwhelming, it's really frustrating, because when you are putting effort, when you are doing your level best to do something, but despite having done it completely, you cannot make it happen, you will get frustrated very easily. But have you ever wondered that despite having studied English for years, why you are not able to speak English fluently? It happens because of distraction. We have enormous amount of content out there which always try to steal our attention, and it's very easier for us to get distracted and fall into that trap because those content gives us dopamine, and dopamine provides us instant pleasure that we all need, and that's why it gets very difficult for us to stick to something which requires time and dedication, especially to language learning. So whenever you are learning English or any other language, you will have to be consistent. You will have to put constant effort in order to speak English naturally and fluently. This is something we all go through, but just by following right approach and just by putting a little bit of effort, you can be surrounded with English and you can create environment for yourself. So if you are creating environment for yourself in English, you will easily be able to speak English effectively. So that's why I am going to mention few steps which can help you to always be surrounded with English. And once you began being surrounded with English, I'm sure you will easily be able to speak English confidently. And these are the steps which is very simple yet extremely powerful. I have followed them for a very long time and I have got such a positive result. So that's why I want you to follow all of them in order to be surrounded with English and to learn English easily. So this is the first step I would highly recommend you. So this is something you must do. So what you are supposed to do, you just have to go to YouTube and subscribe to those YouTube channel where people make videos in English, and unsubscribe to all the YouTube channel which is available in your mother tongue or in the language which you already know. Many people may not like it because they would be like, how can I unsubscribe to those YouTube channel which I really enjoy watching, or I cannot do it because I love watching them in my mother tongue or in my native language. Okay, I got it. So you have another option. So what you are supposed to do, you have to go to YouTube and create another YouTube channel where you will be consuming content only in English language, which is your target language. So in this way, you will only be suggested English videos, and it will help you to use your time productively and not wasting on here and there. So when you are subscribing to those YouTubers who upload videos in English, it will help you a lot to be surrounded with English. This is a step we mostly neglect because we think that it is not going to help us that much, but it works insanely. This is something I have experienced for a very long time. I have done this setting right in the beginning of my journey. So I subscribed to many YouTubers who upload videos in English and unsubscribed those YouTube channels who upload videos in Hindi. Although I was really liking their videos, but in order to be fluent in English, I had to compromise. I had to do some sort of sacrifice. Although it's not big, you just have to follow those YouTube channel which is really entertaining, which can help you to be entertained. Although my topic is quite interesting to me, so I was really enjoying consuming their content. So in this way, you can save your time and you can help yourself not to get distracted. I said it works insanely because you won't believe how much you can be focused just by setting one thing in your phone. I have followed this step for a very long time and it helped me a lot to be surrounded with English. So now if you are thinking that who to subscribe and who to unsubscribe, then I have made a separate video which I will give the link in the description box, which you can go and watch and find out that who to follow and who to unsubscribe. So the next step you are supposed to follow in order to be surrounded with English is to write down your goal, that why you are learning English and what is your purpose to be fluent in English, and stick it on your wall so that you can look at it regularly and remind yourself that why you have begun your journey whenever you are feeling unmotivated or whenever you are feeling that I am not able to do it or I am done with it. Your goal has to be very, very specific. For me, my goal was very, very clear. It was as clear as crystal. So I knew exactly what I want to do. Your goal could be anything. It could be you just want to improve yourself, you just want to be bilingual, you just want to get promotion, you want to be good at academic. It could be anything. You know yourself very well. So you need to have a specific goal and write it down, that why you have begun your journey, so that whenever you will feel that I want to give up, you can remind yourself that no, you have to stick to it and you have to learn this language and speak English fluently. But if you don't feel comfortable letting others know about your goal, that what you are doing in your life and what are your plans, then you can write it down and keep it somewhere so you can frequently visit it. I always do it. I always keep a diary where I write down my goals and just keep it in my desk, so that whenever I am sitting there or whenever I'm studying or working there, I always look at it and it reminds me that why I have began my journey or whatever I am doing. You have another option. If you don't feel comfortable with both of them, then you just need to have one thing in your mind, that you have to remind yourself about your goal and visualize it frequently. In this way, you can always remind yourself that why you have begun your journey. But I think many people cannot do it because they either forget about their goal or it does not work for them. But I'm a kind of person who can make things happen just by visualizing something or just by reminding myself about my goal. Although I really struggle with retaining information, but when it comes to affirming something or when it comes to having any sort of goal which I have set for myself, I am freaking good at it. So yeah, it is completely up to you which one works for you. So in this way, you can set your goal and remind yourself, which will always help you to be surrounded with English. So whenever you are getting distracted, whenever you are feeling that I am done, I am fed up with everything because I am not progressing at all, it will help you to be motivated. Next step is something which is really necessary, but again, it's not compulsion. You are definitely not being forced to follow this step, but if it is possible, then you must do it. So what you are supposed to do, you just have to collect a few books in English. It does not matter whether it's second hand, third hand or fourth hand. It does not matter at all. As long as you are getting the information, the knowledge and content in English, it is really, really effective, but we mostly neglect it. You can easily get combo of 3 to 4 books in 3 to 400 rupees. Although I'm not going to say that it's pretty cheap, it's affordable, you can easily get it. No, I'm not going to say, because I can completely understand that many people cannot get it and it's perfectly all right. But what I'm trying to say here is that I have studied from both, from my mobile and from books. And I can surely say that when you are reading books, when you are getting content from books, it can save a lot of your time and it can also save you from distraction. Again, it's recommendable. Definitely, I'm not saying that you must get it, or if it is not possible, that's perfectly all right. because most of the time we can get it but we neglect because we think everything is available online, I can get everything for free. But we cannot deny the fact that when you are using screen time for a long time, it will definitely affect your eyes. So in the beginning I also used to think that, hey, I can get everything online, I don't need to spend money on these books, I can read those books completely for free. But now I understood that it will definitely affect your eyes. Right in the moment you may not understand it, but later you may struggle with it. So it's very important for all of us to take wise decision right in the moment. And when it comes to getting information online or reading something on Google or Chrome browser, definitely it does help a lot, but we cannot neglect the fact that it leads to distraction as well. So whenever you have decided that now I am going to read something on Google or somewhere, the moment you have picked up your phone and started reading, probably you will be suggested any sort of notification from your Instagram, from Facebook, from YouTube, from WhatsApp or any other social media app. And you will be like, okay, just let me check this notification and I will get back to my reading. But once you have left your reading process, you will completely forget the whole point of reading something. And eventually you will forget that why you have even picked up your phone. Whereas when you are reading books, you will be less distracted. There are very few chances to get distraction when you are reading books, because I'm sure whenever you are reading something or whenever you are working, you are keeping your phone away from yourself, so you are less likely to get distraction. So that's why I would highly recommend you to get books if it is possible for you. So the next thing you are supposed to do is to make a playlist. Now you may be thinking that what type of playlist do I need to make? So now let me explain this to you. I'm sure most of you love listening to music, or probably many of you cannot even complete your day without listening to music. Although it's just assumption, I really don't know anything about you guys, but I think it happens for many people because they cannot even complete your day without music. So what you are supposed to do, you just have to grab some podcast and song if you prefer. Personally, I love listening to podcasts, so I always try to collect good podcasts which I can listen to later. But if you are a kind of person who loves listening to music and you don't like podcasts, then you can collect some good song. But make sure that you are understanding the lyrics, because most of the time I have seen people not understanding the lines, but they like the music and that's why they are listening. No, your purpose to listen to this song is to be able to get familiar with the sounds. So that's why I would always recommend you to go for podcast, because it does help a lot to improve your listening skill. So after collecting all the podcast or song, you have to make a playlist of them, and it's very crucial to have playlist, otherwise you will be drowned just by finding one perfect song or perfect podcast which you can listen to on the way to reach your university or your workplace or your school. I have never had playlist and I always struggle with it. So here I am running late for my university, but I am trying to find one perfect podcast which I can listen to on the way. So it does help a lot when you are having playlist. So you just have to choose your favorite podcaster or your favorite singer and just add them. So whenever you need to listen them, you don't need to find which one you have to listen. So this is something I'm recommending after experiencing for a very long time. Earlier when I did not have playlist, I used to struggle a lot. But now when I'm having playlist of all my favorite podcaster or all the podcasts which I love listening to, I can save a lot of my time and use that time productively. And there's one thing you have to remind yourself, that whenever you are switching back to your native language or to your mother tongue, you have to come back to English, because listening is very important, and in that way you can help your ears to listen and be familiar with the sounds. So the next thing you are supposed to follow in order to be surrounded with English is to get a partner to practice English, or set time to practice English? So first of all, I would like to talk about why setting time to practice English is extremely important, because mostly we are tend to get busy or to procrastinate, or we indulge ourselves into different kind of work which has nothing to do with learning English. But when you are setting time for yourself, when you are blocking your time just to practice English, it will remind you of your work, that this work has to be done, and it will help you a lot to get your things done on time. And when you have a partner whom you can practice your speaking English with, then it's damn good, because when both of you have mutually decided to speak at this moment, then definitely it will help you both to get your things done on time. But if you don't have a partner and if you are all alone and you are struggling to have conversation, then don't worry. I have made a separate video where I mentioned how you can practice your speaking English alone, and you don't need to worry about it that whether or not I will improve my English. You can improve your English just by yourself. But when you are setting time for yourself to practice English, it will help you to enhance your English in a short period of time. In my opinion, setting time for yourself to practice English is really crucial, because it will take your English to the next level. And there's one thing I would like to tell you, that it does not matter whether you have a practice partner or not. It does not matter at all. Although it's true that it will help you to boost your confidence, because when you're speaking to someone, definitely it will boost your confidence, but it does not mean that you cannot improve your English, because mostly I have practiced alone. I mean, for 10 months I did not have anybody. I practiced just by myself. So you should never think that I don't have partner and that's why I could not improve my English. In my opinion, talking to yourself will give you so many advantages. It has been really beneficial in my journey, and I talk to others only to boost my confidence. Otherwise, I had improved my English just by myself, but I made sure that I was speaking every single day. I was setting time to speak English either in the morning or in the afternoon or in the evening. It does not matter when you are getting time. It's completely up to you. But make sure that you are speaking every single day. So here are 5 simple yet extremely powerful and effective steps which helped me to be surrounded with English. And when you are being surrounded with English, you have more chances to become fluent in English and to describe your thought in a very simple way. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you could learn something or other from this video, and I'm sure you are going to follow at least few of them, because it will help you a lot to improve your English in a short period of time. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful and interesting. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.